Alright everyone, we start off today talking about Joe Biden, and really I could make 4 videos today just on crazy stuff that's happened in the last like 24, 48 hours with him. I'm not going to do that because this isn't the Biden channel. I had to do this with Trump as well and be like, well, there are other things I need to cover. I can increase output to like 7,000 videos a day, or I can, actually pick and choose. First and foremost, before we talk about his big problem from the other day, we got to talk about the pinned comment on YouTube, actually, which will have links to 4 other video hosting sites that I use. YouTube is the only video host that engages in significant algorithmic distortion, and out of principle, partially, and out of a sense of awareness that the purge is coming, so to speak, I use other platforms, and 2 of my videos every day are only not on YouTube. That is, you're only getting half a clank if you're only using YouTube. It's a sad time for you. You've missed out on a bunch of good shit, especially some of the spicier video topics that you can't even really talk about on YouTube anymore. Medically related, politically related, probably cat videos at some point. That's when the death of the site comes. Anyway, Biden the other day was trying to get aboard Air Force One, and he had a few problems. There's one, you know those things that they put on the side of stairs for people who are like fat or elderly to help them up and down the stairs? It's like a little seat that takes them up and down. Somebody took a picture of Biden in one of the, and then photoshopped it onto one of those, and has like Air Force One there, like the ramp, and it has him like slowly gliding up towards the plane. I saw that earlier. It was really funny. Please don't eat the plants, kitty, except the cactus, remember. Someone made a cartoon of that, by the way. I popped it on mine, so it was really funny. But the dude is obviously, like, senile. The dude obviously has difficulties at this point with basic coordination, because he tripped. I mean, if you trip once, that's one thing. I trip sometimes. You probably do too, unless you're like an acrobat or a ninja or something. But when you trip 3 times in quick succession, don't you think that he's having a moment, so to speak? The cat's pretending to be a plant at the moment. Well, Biden's vegetative, and he's the president of the United States, Hong Kong, so, you can go far in life. He's got cognitive issues. The dude is clearly demented. He's not all with it. Can you imagine if Trump had tripped even once going on Air Force One? Number one, it'd be a late-night comedy special, like everyone at SNL and Jon Stewart and everyone basically would dedicate the entire hour to just talking about that one thing, and people would be shrieking about how he had health problems. Oh my god, look at him, he's obese, he's got cognitive decline, he's losing his coordination and balance capabilities. Where are any of these MSM sources or people with blue check marks on Twitter saying that about Joe Biden? And this is hardly the only time. He's had several verbal gaffes in the last few days. He referred to Kamala Harris as president the other day, for example. At this rate, like, this goes beyond Bushisms. You remember, some of you probably do, the younger part of my audience probably not. You remember Bushisms? George W. Bush used to say weird off-the-wall shit, like he couldn't pronounce certain words, like he would say nuclear instead of nuclear, and he said like strategery instead of strategy, and would say we need to coexist with fish, and objects need to practice their love of women, and stuff like that. There was a whole, like, by the end of his presidency, you could make, 15-minute YouTube videos compiling Bushisms. And it was considered evidence of him being, not quite all there, kind of a little bit on the stupid side. I think it was an act, but it was taken that way. With Biden, he's been in the presidency for less than 60 days, and you can already make a 15-minute reel of it. Just from the time of his presidency. Don't even get me started on during the primaries, all the problems he had then, over the last couple of years, basically. Then try to create a reel of any mistakes he made from the 70s through the 2000s. There are a couple of moments when he was awkward during the Obama presidency, like the time he said it was a big fucking deal, I think in reference to the Osama raid and a few other things, but he never made this kind of mistake. He was on TV all the time, he constantly took questions from people, did pressers, he's a fucking vice president. He was a high-ranking senator before that, he constantly giving testimony, debating on the Senate floor and stuff. You've got 100 hours of him talking, and you've got nothing comparable to the things that he is doing and saying now. Now he's tripping over his own feet, literally, in the case of the second time he tripped here, before getting on Air Force One. Again, if the shoe were on the other foot and Donald Trump tripped even once, they would be bringing up the specter of him having some sort of major cognitive or physical impairment. We know this. Remember the time that he had COVID? And he had some mild breathing difficulties there, I think the first day afterwards, and that was spread all around. Oh my god, the president's dying. Oh, he's fat, he's obese, therefore it's a comorbidity, he's probably going to end up on a respirator. intubated and stuff. He's impaired. Oh my God, they need to remove him immediately. We can't have an impaired president. Dude, Biden the other day, his dude, I can't remember the name of that, Blinker or some bullshit like that, Blinken, was talking like the Chinese and the Russians. Putin is openly challenging Biden to a televised debate, which of course will be refused because he couldn't debate Vladimir Putin. It'd be impossible. Specifically because he said too many fucking stupid things about Putin, about Russia, and in general because he's fucking demented. The Chinese openly laughing at him, saying, you've got no moral standing to tell us anything. Fuck off, basically. We've lost, over the last 60 days, roughly, 59 I believe now, we've lost so much diplomatic leverage the North Koreans won't even take Biden's phone calls. They've openly ruled out continuing any form of diplomatic negotiations. All of the progress that Trump made in the Korean Peninsula with U.S.-Chinese trade relations, with trying to contain some semblance Russian influence in various regions has been pissed away. The dude can't even fucking climb up onto his fucking plane. He can't even walk up, 30, 40 steps to Air Force One? It's not that difficult. Okay, some people are, well, he was moving too quickly. He was trying to jog up the steps. Okay, he was trying to show us how healthy he was, and he failed miserably. Where's the CNN report talking about invoking the 25th Amendment because he's clearly not fit? Where's the MSM report talking about how cognitive decline can cause a reduction in coordination? Old people, they get kind of not with it anymore, and they fall down and break a hip or something. The Biden fell. Dude, when a 78-year-old person trips and falls, that's usually considered of medical significance. Just saying. If I'm 75, 80 years old and I fall down, I've got a much greater chance that I break a goddamn rib or something. You know how long it takes to recover from even relatively minor injuries when you're in your 70s and 80s? Handful of you probably are. Some of you, unfortunately, probably know all too well. He's obviously senile. Come on. Come on, man. When you're telling the same 60s and 70s era stories, you're forgetting people's names, you're forgetting what the Pentagon is, you don't even know who the president is, you openly admit that every morning you wake up and ask your wife, where am I? Where are we? And you're falling all over yourself like he had, fucking wasn't it like 30 days ago he broke his foot? He claims that he broke his foot because he was chasing his dog out of the shower. Okay, which one shows maybe dementia more? You thought it was a good idea on a slippery floor, dashing out of the shower naked to grab your dog's tail, or that's a pile of horse shit and you just fell and twisted your foot sideways. Which one? I think that the official storyline shows cognitive decline arguably more. This is supposedly going to be the leader of the free world for an extended period of time and is supposed to uphold U.S. values, and he's got 65% approval and stupid shit like that. No, he doesn't. I can't bring myself to believe that a significant majority of Americans approve of this kind of thing. I can't envision that being the case, including even some Democrats. Hell, when barely a majority of them even wanted Biden to run in the first place, supposedly he has near 100% approval in party. I'm finding that real hard to believe. I don't find it hard to believe, though, when I go onto an echo chamber like Twitter, where there's blue check marks with, basically they should just have a D after their name at that point most of the time, when they're talking about how great Biden is, and they go into cognitive dissonance mode, and they'll say, well, yeah, Biden tripped going up the stairs. You've tripped too. Yeah, Biden tripped, but, Trump did a thing 3 years ago. That's basically the only response. Just fucking watch the video for yourself. It's funny, unintentionally. But again, what would have happened? Can you imagine this? And it's not like it's impossible. Can you imagine that on that staircase, he had fallen and tumbled down the fucking goddamn stairs on live TV? Can you imagine that happens, and at the bottom he's like fucking unconscious with 3 broken ribs or something? Can you imagine what a diplomatic and optics nightmare that would be? Can you imagine, politically, the Democrats should kick him out as quickly as possible because otherwise you run the risk of that sort of thing happening. That's why they don't like having live events. The gaffes and the possibility that he randomly conks out or blows an aneurysm and dies live on TV is a real thing. We need to understand that wouldn't be good, generally speaking, politically or socially, I think, at this point. That's about all. Peace out.